This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Everywhere you turn, it's the same old sports talk, the same headlines, the same news, and the same boring information. This podcast is here to change all of that. We bring you hot sports takes, winning sports betting strategy and picks, reliable gaming industry news, and breaking interviews with some of the biggest names in sports business. My name is Ryan Newpel, and welcome to the Noop Sports Show.
Hello again, everybody. It's time for the NFL podcast with Noop Sports. Hey, Rodney, you there?
Yeah, I am. What's going on in National Football League? And hey, I'm kind of glad to get a new host here. Maybe you can pick a few more games than Ryan does. I think he's up and down, but I'm looking forward to a new NFL host tonight.
Well, I'm kind of by default. He's off covering some poker tournament in Punta Cana. That can't be too bad.
No, he lives a rough life, but yeah, he's out on the beach in Punta Cana, and I think last I checked, they still had Wi-Fi out there, which means he can still do the podcast. But the Punta Cana Poker Classic out there, he's enjoying it. But for a week, we'll accept you on the podcast, Tom.
Well, I think the beach waves would have made too much noise for the podcast, probably.
Yeah, it's probably pretty noisy out there in Punta Cana. I don't even know what time of night it is or what time of day it is out there in Punta Cana. But, yeah, we'll see if we can wake him up tomorrow morning and talk a little NFL before the Thursday night game.
I want to start off with a little bit of a rant here on the NFL, particularly for Thursday night. I mean, the NFL wonders why their ratings are sagging. Well, look at who's going to be playing on Thursday night. Jaguars and Titans. I know every team needs to get one national appearance. But this is the third straight year they've given us these two downtrodden franchises to play on Thursday night. There's not going to be any World Series, and this is the best that we have.
Yeah, the Thursday night games have been pretty weak, and you hit it. Every team is guaranteed the Thursday night game, and Roger Goodell's reasoning after that is, well, once you play the Thursday night game, you get 10 days off, but so what? Thursday night games are garbage. They're 4 days after they have played a game. You can't do that in the NFL. I mean, these big boys are getting hurt every week, and now you're expecting them to play 4 days later. I mean, if you look at a normal NFL schedule, they play on Sunday, they take Monday off, they have a light practice on Tuesday, and then they fly to their city on Wednesday. So that's not enough preparation for the NFL. NFL Thursday games are stupid. They're never going away, but they're stupid.
Yeah, it's all about the ratings and getting the people getting their money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, NFL more than any is a money grabber.
Well, we got Jacksonville 2-4, traveling to Tennessee, who's 3-4, and the Titans are about a 3.5-point favorite. I don't know. Jacksonville's looked pretty weak so far. Bortles has been kind of weak. Coaching, Gus Bradley's 14-40 so far. I just can't go along with Jacksonville here.
3.5-point spread. I keep trying to find a way. I keep trying to want to bet on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I keep wanting the Jaguars to win games. So I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know why. I think Tennessee's better. Marcus Mariota, 12 touchdown passes already. DeMarco Murray has been one of the best running backs. Maybe Blake Bortles picks it up here. I don't know. I don't know why I like Jacksonville, but I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, they got Allen Robinson. They got Julius Thomas.
Certainly they have the targets. I mean, Blake Bortles has the targets. He's had the targets for a while. But it really comes down to Blake Bortles is not getting the job done. And the problem is they don't have a backup quarterback in Jacksonville that's worth any good. I mean, Blake Bortles' quarterback ratings, 50.2. That's not good. Just 9 touchdowns in 6 games. That's not good. TJ Yeldon, the running back, just 200 yards on the season. That's not good. In saying that, I think Jacksonville goes on the road and wins this game.
Well, I don't know. Bortles, he got 2 picks last week. He's had 13 games now where he's had more than 1 pick in a game, and a lot of giveaways. Right now, I'm sitting in Orlando, and the people here just love him because he was a player here at UCF, but he just doesn't get the job done. I got to go with Tennessee.
Yeah, certainly see why. I mean, I guess I just keep sipping the Jacksonville Kool-Aid. I keep thinking they're going to break out at some point, and maybe this is it. I mean, Tennessee didn't look great against Indianapolis last week. Their defense isn't real good. I'll take Jacksonville. You can have Tennessee, and we'll see how it goes.
All right. We got Washington, who's 4-3, at Cincinnati, who's 3-4. The Bengals are a 3-point favorite, and the public's pounding them at the rate of 71%. I don't know. I think I'm still going to go with Cincinnati on this one.
Yeah, I am too. I think Cincinnati wins this game. Cincinnati's starting to see a little bit of the weak side of their schedule. They were pretty haunted by some pretty tough schedule to start of the season. For Washington, Jordan Reed thinks he's going to be back after suffering a concussion. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to play in this game or not. Now, this is the game in London. It's an early start. It's the 8:30 start Central Time. So, obviously, if you're playing daily fantasy, you got to get these guys in. Kirk Cousins, has the Washington Redskins third overall in passing. I think Andy Dalton, AJ Green, get it going again. AJ Green, huge week last week. I like the Bengals to win this game. It's a neutral site, so the home and away game doesn't matter. I'll take Cincinnati minus the 2.5.
Well, a couple of stats to go along with that. The Bengals, of course, as you mentioned, they were led on the ground by Jeremy Hill, and he ended the game with an average of 19 yards per rush.
Yeah, and that's impressive, but we got to keep in mind it was against the Browns. The Browns probably wouldn't beat Alabama. So, Jeremy Hill's finally had a good game. I think they get two games going in a row here, and Bengals get back to 500 at 4-4. Remember, this is a playoff team for like the last 3 or 4 years, so Cincinnati should win this game.
Well, AJ Green was 21 yards per reception. So, like I said, I'm sticking with Cincinnati also on this one.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati wins this game in London.
Everybody goes to London. That's the next thing, isn't it? Everybody's going to play in London.
Yeah, I think this is the last one. I think there was 3 scheduled in London, and I believe this is the last one. So, but I do like the morning football. Morning football, I could do that.
Okay. New England 6-1 at Buffalo 4-3 last time they played. Buffalo shut out New England, but things have changed. New England is the favorite in here. Buffalo is plus 6.5.
Yeah, the thing that changed was a guy by the name of Thomas Brady. You ever heard of him? He's an okay quarterback. He's okay. The Patriots win this one easily. They blow Buffalo out in Buffalo because Tom Brady, Bill Belichick are mad. They are not happy. They are ticked off. And the Patriots move to 7-1. Bills fall to 4-4. I like the line even if it's 10. I'll take the Patriots to blow the doors off in Buffalo.
Well, yeah, New England's got the top coach. They got a top quarterback. They got Blount. They got Gronk. The list just goes on and on. And then you take Buffalo, Tyrod Taylor, Marquise Goodwin just doesn't instill fear into people.
No. I like New England to win this one. And Buffalo showed a little bit of their true colors last weekend in a loss. I think it continues. Rex Ryan is one of those guys. When they win, they start winning. They get rolling. When they lose, things don't go well. And they lost at Miami last week. They're going to lose at home. They got at Seattle next weekend. This is a tough stretch for Buffalo, and this will not be easy. New England blows them out.
Oh, the next one is New York Jets at Cleveland. Anyone that plays the Browns, I favor them. It's too bad for the city with the Cavs and the Indians, but I'm going with the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, this line will only be 3 or 4 points. I think as of right now, it's actually off.
Yes.
There's not even a line for this game, but 3 or 4 points is probably all it's going to be since it's in Cleveland. Ryan Fitzpatrick's back at quarterback after losing his job and regaining his job. I mean, the Cleveland's terrible. They're just not good at all, and I like the Jets as well, who won last week and playing a little bit better. I'll take the Jets to move to 3-5, and the Browns to drop to 0-8.
Yeah, the city is just they aren't paying any attention to the Browns now.
No, I mean, it'll be kind of a fun story. We'll have the Cavaliers win the NBA championship, the Indians win the World Series, and the Browns go 0-16 because it's very likely. I don't see a scenario they win a game.
Okay, I think the next game might be one of the toughest to call. We got Detroit 4-3. We got the Texans 4-3. Houston's a 2.5-point favorite. I'm going with the Texans at home. I'm not really an Osweiler fan, but I'm going with the Texans.
Well, Brock Osweiler is not good at all. But Detroit on the road at Houston, this is going to be I think Houston's defense is going to be the factor here. And Houston's got to get Lamar Miller going. They have to get Lamar Miller going in this one. I think Lamar Miller will have a big game. Houston's finding ways to win at home. They beat the Bears at home. They beat the Chiefs at home. They beat the Titans at home and the Colts at home. Houston's a home team. They're at home in this one. I like Houston. Even if it's a 3-point spread, I think they win 5 or 6 points. I like Houston as well.
Well, are you really discounting Matthew Stafford, or what's going on there?
Oh, Matthew Stafford's having a great year, and I think he's extremely underrated. I think the Houston defense is pretty good, though. That's the issue I have here is, and they will cause turnovers. Matthew Stafford been really good, though. I mean, he's 259 yards a game. He's found Marvin Jones. He's finding Golden Tate. Nothing wrong with Matthew Stafford. I really just side the home team here. Houston's much better at home. If Brock Osweiler gets himself in position where he doesn't have to force it downfield, he can get it to Lamar Miller. He can get it to Will Fuller. I like his chances, especially at home. I'll take Houston, and like I said, the 3 points I don't love, especially if I can get it 2.5. That's much better, but I'll take the Texans.
Okay, Kansas City at Indianapolis. Basically, what's wrong with Indy?
Well, they won last week. They won last week.
They're 3-4. Yeah.
They're 3-4. Their offensive line's not good. Their defense isn't good. There's a lot of things wrong with Indy, and they're probably in trouble against Kansas City. Kansas City's a very sneaky team. 2.5 point spread for Kansas City. Don't love road teams here, but I think Kansas City's much better. Andy Reid's a good coach. I think Kansas City wins this on the road.
Okay, I got Kansas City on that one too. We have Seattle 4-1 at New Orleans 2-4, and I got like 6 words to say to you. I like the Saints due to the Seattle travel. What do you think of that?
Well, yeah, I mean, Seattle, played at Arizona on a big Sunday night game, and it went, obviously overtime. They're going to be a little bit tired. New Orleans is much better at home. This is New Orleans has their back to the wall in this game. But keep in mind, I mean, New Orleans has an opportunity in that division because everybody's losing. I mean, New Orleans just 2 games behind Atlanta. They're ahead of Carolina. They're right with Tampa Bay. So I think I'll side with you, and I'll take New Orleans to win this game straight up, which would be a tough loss for Seattle. And the NFC West obviously would tighten up. I'll take New Orleans in the plus 2.5 as well. Saints at home here is my pick.
Another team that travels from the West Coast to East Coast, we have Oakland 5-2, Tampa Bay 3-3. The Bucks are a 1-point favorite. I'm going to take the Bucks for 4 reasons. They're at home. Number 2, Jameis Winston throws for like 70% rate. 3, Oakland ranks 32nd in pass defense, and it's cross-country travel.
Yeah, cross-country travel is always a thing. Especially west to east. Obviously, that's the big difference. East to west doesn't make nearly as big a difference. A 10 o'clock game out there in Oakland. Oakland's been up and down. Oakland's a team that won last week, but it has 2 weeks ago that took a bad loss. They're 5-2 on the season. The loss to Kansas City, 26-10, is kind of more like where they're at. Now, Oakland did find that win in Jacksonville last week, so they're not totally terrible on the road. But I'm with you here. Tampa Bay is actually quite a bit surprising. They have not won at home yet this year, but I think they find their win and win their 3rd straight game. And like I was talking about New Orleans, Tampa Bay's got a chance because they're going to move to 4-3 in that division and have a big game against Atlanta next week. I like Tampa Bay as well.
All right. Well, it's kind of surprised me. I think the next one we're going to probably differ on. Arizona at Carolina. Carolina's 1-5. I think it's time the Panthers get it going, and it's going to start this week.
No, I agree with you as well, and I think part of the reason I think this is because of the big letdown of last Sunday night for Arizona. I don't like Arizona. I don't like Seattle. And part of the reason was that atrocious football game that ended 6-6 in a tie. I think that's a major letdown for both those teams. This is another cross-country travel. Arizona, frankly, just may not be very good. That might be a situation. Now, Carolina's been woeful. I mean, they're 1-5, and if they fall to 1-6, they might as well just fold up shop. They're not making the playoffs. But a win here and a win there. Maybe at 8-8 they find a way. But I like Carolina as well at home in this one. And a little surprised they're a 3-point favorite, but I'll take the Panthers to win this game at home.
All right. Well, I was kind of surprised you went the same way I did on that one. Denver is at home, and they're a 4.5-point favorite playing the Chargers of San Diego. Both teams are 5-2 against the spread. I like Denver at home in this one.
Yeah, it's interesting because San Diego's 5-2 against the spread, 3-4 overall, but essentially could be like 6-1 on the season. They've lost several close games. They've been the heartbreak city team. San Diego's playing really well. I'll take San Diego to compete in this game and cover that spread. 6 points is a lot. Remember, they just played 2 weeks ago, and San Diego beat them 21-13. Now that was in San Diego. I look for this to be a close game, something like 21-17. somewhere around there. I'll take the Chargers plus 5 or 6, and think this will be a competitive game. Phillip Rivers having a fantastic season.
Yeah, he's got to be one of the oldest quarterbacks in the league right now, right?
Oh, certainly, but he's thrown for over 2,000 yards. He's thrown for 13 touchdowns. He's got a 76 quarterback rating. I mean, Tom Brady's older than he is, but Phillip Rivers beat 35 at the end of the season, but still putting up fantastic numbers with 2 of his top targets out, Keenan Allen and Danny Woodhead. So I like San Diego to cover this game. San Diego's impressing me here the last couple weeks.
Okay, I'm going with Denver on that. Green Bay at Atlanta. People talking about Green Bay like they've fallen off the earth. They've won 4 games this season. Why do people have these feelings about Green Bay?
Well, they are 4-2. I mean, I think if you look at that loss at Lambeau Field, 30-16, just looked absolutely atrocious in that loss. Now Dallas is good. Now Green Bay's finally going on the road. They haven't been on the road since week 2 when they lost to the Vikings. Because their offense isn't scoring points. Now, 52.5 is the total in this game. That's a lot of points. I don't think Green Bay puts up their end of the bargain. Matt Ryan been very good. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons at home in this one, -2.5. I like the -2.5. You know, last-second field goal for Atlanta could win this game. I'll take the Falcons over the Packers, which would put Atlanta at 5-3, Green Bay at 4-3, and Packers might struggle to make the playoffs. They're not clicking offensively.
Okay, Dallas 5-1, hosting Philadelphia 4-2. Dallas is a 4.5-point favorite. Still no Romo, but the Cowboys are in good hands. I like the Cowboys.
Yeah, Dak Prescott has been fantastic. Des Bryant's supposed to be back in this game. Cowboys 5-1 now, best in the NFC, tied with the Vikings. Philadelphia been up and down. They've been better at home than they have on the road. They got to go on the road here. I think I like Dallas as well, although the 4 or 5, huge rivalry game. This could be close, but the 2 losses for Philadelphia on the road, by 1 at Detroit, by 7 at Washington. But I think if I have to, I'm going to go with the home team and give up those 4.5 or 5 points. I'll take Dallas.
Okay. Well, Monday Night Football is the Minnesota Vikings at Chicago Bears. To me, the Vikings have only won once at Soldier Field since 2007. I look for the Bears to make it happen this weekend or this Monday.
I don't think the Bears win this game, but if I'm giving 5 points, I'll take the Bears, and that's right where we're at right now, 5 points. 80% of the public likes the Vikings. That's amazing to me.
Ooh.
I mean, I know Vikings are good, but Vikings are, coming off just an atrocious performance against Philadelphia. Not as good as I think a lot of the record looks. It's starting to get colder. Sam Bradford's throws are getting weaker and weaker. Bears keep it close. Jay Cutler's back for the Bears. I think, it's a low-scoring game, 17-14, 21-17, something like that. I'll take Minnesota to win, but the Bears to cover in a close but snooze fest. Another snooze fest on national TV, Monday Night Football. I'll take the Bears to cover 5 points.
Yeah, the Bears fans are pretty upset. The Bears just aren't doing very good.
No, they're not good at all. They're not very good at all. I mean, they're 1-6. Brian Hoyer's out. They had Matt Barkley. I mean, now Jay Cutler's coming back at with a 1-6 team. Their only win is at home, 17-14 against the Lions. I just don't see a scenario where the Bears score more than about 21 points here, if they can get to 21. But Minnesota's offense isn't very good either. So close game. Take the Bears to cover, like the Vikings to win. Okay,
that's about it for this week in NFL. I'm filling in for Ryan, and I'm sure he'll be in here next week with his picks. Tell everybody where you can find us and anything else you want to add.
Yeah, noobsports.com. Do obviously updated power rankings every week. The NFL ones come out on Tuesdays. We have a couple contests going, NHL and NBA. You can find those on our Twitter account at noobsports. We've explained them a little bit, so I'll let you figure those out once you go to our Twitter account at noobsports. And keep an eye out on our Twitter, because we do run random contests as far as just individual games and stuff like that. So keep an eye, and go to noobsports.com and follow us at noobsports on Twitter. Those are the best 2 places to go. Okay, we hope to be able to help you make some money on these games, so you pay attention to our website, our Facebook, our Twitter, our podcast. This is Tom filling in for Ryan, and along with Rodney, that's it for a while.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Noob Sports Show. If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider subscribing to our iTunes channel today. Plus, visit us at noobsports.com for more picks, previews, strategy, and news. That's knupsports.com.